Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to At Home Learning, Visual Arts Edition, with your very own Mr. Campbell. So, the title of this project is called Color Landscape. So, let's go ahead and, if you're looking at the instructions in Seesaw, let's read our learning objective together. We will be able to accurately identify warm and cool colors, distinguish landscapes from other artworks, know the three localities of a landscape, and create an original warm and cool color landscape. Let's go ahead and read our DOL together as well, our demonstration of learning. Given art materials, I will be able to identify warm and cool colors, identify landscapes from other art forms, know the three localities of a landscape, and create an original warm and cool color landscape. Okay, so all we're going to accomplish this week is the basic drawing. That's what's due at the end of the week on Friday. So we're going to draw a landscape with all different types of landscape elements in the foreground, middle ground, and background. So first of all, let's talk about our terms and our words and what they mean. So first, what is a landscape? Yeah, it's an artwork that's focused on the land. It's a picture of the land. It's a picture of nature. So you're going to see all type of landscape elements: trees, rocks, rivers, bushes, sky, mountains, sun, cloud, all different types of landscape elements. You can have a few houses in a landscape, but you don't want the houses or buildings to be the focal point or the main idea. Otherwise, it becomes a cityscape. Okay, so remember that a landscape is focused on nature. All right, so what are the three different localities of a landscape? We could say, to give you a hint, I could describe them as the front, middle, and back. You got it. It's the foreground, the front, the middle ground, the middle, and the background is the back. So why don't we say front ground? We have middle ground and we have background for middle and back. Why don't we say front ground for the front? Well, I don't know. But the English language, we use a word like forehead, as something that comes before us, so in front of. The words are interchangeable. We just use them in different contexts. So this is my forehead because it's the front part of my face, I guess. And you could say my forerunner, the person who comes before me. So we also have a foreground. It's in the front. Okay, so what are the warm colors? Yeah, red, orange, and yellow. What are the cool colors? Good, blue, green, and purple. Okay, so we've done the warm and cool colors. We know what a landscape is. We know what the three localities of a landscape are. Now, how do you tell the difference between a landscape from other different types of artworks, like a cityscape or a seascape? So, what's the difference between a landscape and a cityscape? Good. A landscape is focused on nature. A cityscape is showing a city. What's the difference between a landscape and a seascape? Excellent. A landscape, again, is focused on nature, and a seascape is focused on the ocean. Okay, so a large body of water. It's not focused on the ground, the earth. Good job. Okay, so let's take a look at this landscape by my favorite artist, Vincent van Gogh. And this particular work is called Starry Night. So go ahead and tell me what kind of landscape elements you see in the background. Great. Yeah, we see the moon. It's nighttime. We see the moon. We see some stars, and we see some swirly clouds, swirly looking clouds, and some mountains also in the background. What do you see in the middle ground? Yes, we see a valley. We see a little village, some bushes or some trees. Now, what do we see in the foreground, or what's closest to us? Great, yeah, we see this huge tree or tower-looking thing. It's closest to us, it's in the foreground, it's dark, it stands out, and great job. Okay, let's take a look at another landscape by Van Gogh. This one is called Wheat Field with Cypress. Now the cypress is referring to the tree. Now I can't help but point out how thick the paint is. This is one of the reasons why so many people love Van Gogh, because he painted with thick paint, and you can see every brush stroke, you can see the raised edges of the paint popping off of the canvas. It gave Van Gogh's paintings a dynamic look that was unique to only him. So go ahead and look at the foreground, and I want you to tell me what type of elements do you see in the foreground? Yeah, we see a wheat field, we see a big green bush, and we see other little bushes at the edge of the wheat field. What do we see in the middle ground? Great. Yeah, we see bushes, we see 2 cypress trees, we see some rolling hills. What do you see in the background? Great. Yeah, we see some blue mountains, and we see the sky with white clouds. Great job. Okay, let's take a look at our final landscape by Van Gogh. This one is called Landscape at Twilight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you some landscape elements that we see, and you're going to tell me where it's located. The foreground, the middle ground, or the background. So what location is the orange and yellow sky, the blue house, the roof of the blue house, or I'm sorry, the house with the blue roof, and the blue trees? Where is that located? Yes, the background. Great job. Where is the pile of orange straw or hay, the green grass, the edge of the brown road? Where is that located? Good job. It's the foreground. Where are the 2 big green trees located? Great. The middle ground. Excellent job. Okay, so let's create a landscape of our own. Now you want to turn your paper horizontally, or landscape view. Now we're going to create a middle ground, foreground, and background full of landscape elements. And I usually start with the foreground first, because things that come closer to you are bigger. So I'm going to create this large tree in the foreground, and I'm going to use soft lines because it's just an underdrawing. I'm going to draw over it later. So you can create a tree by making a cloud-like shape and then attaching branches underneath, going to a trunk, turning into a trunk. Now I just created my horizon line about roughly in the middle of my paper. Now I'm making some puffy clouds in the background. Okay, drawing my sun and all my background elements, my mountains that are far off in the distance. So you can be very creative. Mountains can come in all different shapes and sizes, so can clouds. So there are no rules, really. Now in the middle ground, I'm going to make a little cabin. I kind of like to make cabins in my landscapes just because it makes me think of maybe where I'll be one day, out in the woods, in the forest, living in a cabin, maybe away from the city. Now here is my river that I'm making. You can make a curvy river, and just remember, in the back it needs to get smaller and it needs to get bigger towards the front to create the illusion of depth in your artwork. Now I made big bushes closer to me and little bushes further away. That also creates depth. Now I'm drawing a few flowers just for uniqueness, for style, and just to have something different. So you can create any and all kinds of elements in your landscape. There are no rules. You do not have to make it just like mine. You can make your own type of landscape. So now in this Procreate app, I'm actually creating a layer because I want to separate my layers. But basically now, once you finish your landscape, you can take a black pen, a black crayon, a black marker, something that you have, some color that you have of black that's dark. And you're going to outline your drawing. You're going to trace over it. You can fix mistakes this way. You can clean it up. So just trace over it and make it dark. So you can go ahead and draw with me, or you can watch the rest of the video and wait to the end. You can always refer back to this video. You can speed it up, slow it down, and pause it. You can go back, you can go forward. But just so you know, the duration, the video during this time is going to be watching me finish outlining my artwork. Okay, so I'm about to finish this up, and I'm going to delete my underdrawing. It's the same as if you are to erase your underdrawing underneath the black pen or black marker or crayon. So I'm just about to do it after I finish drawing this cloud. And I'm going to draw a few birds in the background in the sky just for effect. And here we go. Now instantly I've erased all my underdrawing, all my pencil lines. So you can do the same thing. Once you finish outlining and detailing, go ahead and erase your pencil lines. Now I'm just adding a few final finishing touches, adding the siding for the cabin. Here's something else that might help you. Notice how I use thinner lines in the background and thicker lines in the foreground. This is just another way to show that things closer to you are bigger and things further away get smaller, creating that illusion of depth. Okay, so that just about does it. The drawing is all that is due this week on Friday at 4 o'clock, April 3rd, 2020. So just finish the drawing and stay tuned for the next video for next week. We're going to go over the differences between landscape, cityscape, and seascape, and we're going to look at some images, and I'm going to show you how to color your artwork. All right, thanks a lot, guys. See you then.